What's up, everyone? The Godfather Dictator back with Chapter 9, the Alma chapter. And this chapter, well, especially for the blue room, red room, even, with equipment we're more powerful and all of that, it's still a section that is quite annoying to do. Now, if you, of course, skip, some of the fight, like the middle fight, it's gonna make it a lot easier in the entire section, obviously. And while it's not necessary to do them, I like to do them just for completion's sake, And that part also for the blue room, red room, is a part that is notorious for people to try to splice their no damage run and such, because a lot of people were skipping the mid fight and such, and some people were trying to hide it and all of that. And yeah, it's a really hard section in general. And because of that, there's not a lot of people that had the patience if you want to fully do the fight. So this part is always hard in my opinion, and it's mostly because of the last fight at the end. The Hydrocubus battle with the Black Cat. It's extremely tricky, especially you're in a really tight room, and then on top of that is like you have to concentrate on doing those fight in the middle of the area, which they're not particularly hard, but the thing is that when you fail that gauntlet at some point, after that you have to redo the entire thing, and that's what makes those fights more annoying than anything. And then in this one here, if NGB put the fight with Zombie in a combination of sliding him, in this game they decided, not sure why, but it's probably too easy, we're gonna add some archer in there, so they added some archer, and the archer being more like the Ninja Gaiden 2004 archer, they can be a lot more accurate. For those that didn't know, the archer in the old Ninja Gaiden were notorious for being super accurate, and if you think they're accurate in NGB, yeah, you haven't seen nothing. So this fight, again, not particularly hard. One thing also that you can notice in that area, and I do like that change in that game, is that you can actually hit zombies with the windmill shuriken, unlike NGB. Well, they will hyper armor through it, and you can stun the archer with that, and it's really damn nice. And also, I'm not gonna lie, being able to use the Dabil arrow here is kind of really cool that early on, because you're not supposed to have it here usually, so I really like the fact that you can just ultimate technique kill those guys. Also, in this version, I'm not sure why I didn't do it in the regular run, but I actually decided to go for the red room first. I'm not sure if I was lucky more in my regular run and it didn't happen to me, but this time in the equipment run, I think I got it twice in the red room after doing the blue room, while I was running on the water. So I thought I had, well, an easier time doing the blue room more consistently, that I pretty much decided to go for the red room first. So that's why here you're gonna see me go. I'm gonna just wait that the timer of the fight finish. There you go. And then what I do, though, I didn't do it in the first time, but I keep the camera opposite side, because it seems like they aim not as good when your camera is off screen. It's just something that happened in this game. So yeah, what I did is I just make sure that both of them are stunned, and then after that I went and made my way towards the platform to finish them off. Don't forget that there's also an extra scarab underwater here. I think in my old walkthrough, or my old no damage run, I forgot one scarab, and I think it might have been that one. Not 100% sure, but there's a good chance it was. Here, if you want to have fun, you can pretty much use the dual sword and do FS off the wall like this non-stop, just much faster. So yeah, if you want to mess around a little bit, make sure you do that. It's really cool. So now, you see, that's another thing too that I want to point out, because I think there's a lot of people that don't know that either, but is that this section here, you know, if you go really fast after getting into one of the room, you know, if you go really fast into the other room, you will not even see if there's an actual fight triggering, because that fight takes a little bit of a delay. So if you move fast enough, there's some people that might not even know that you actually have two middle fight here, but you always have two. So whatever room you decide to do, when you come out of that room, pretty much there's always going to be another encounter in the middle. And that's why I say that it burns people out. It's not that these encounters are particularly hard or anything, but it's that they're the longest encounter. You know, if you go down, you go into boat room and you finish it, that gauntlet is much shorter overall than, I mean, what you're seeing right now, because that extends the whole thing by quite a bit, you know. So if you're not going for karma, and even if you would be doing for a no damage run and you don't want to do it, that's entirely up to the player. You know, I know a great player that did a no damage run of NGB and he skipped the middle fight, and I mean, I didn't lose respect for that player because of that, because, you know, it's better than the majority of everyone else that just splice their run trying to make it seem like one, or yeah, or simply like not being upfront about them skipping fight. Because the thing is, I don't think there's anything wrong with skipping fight actually, but I think it's wrong when you try to pass it as you're not skipping fight but you are. That's the problem. Like the rest what you do, I don't care personally, but if you try to make people believe into something that it's not, that is the problem that I have with these type of walkthrough. If you're saying it, there's nothing wrong with it. So this room is actually really easy though to get hit, because there's always one of the flame that will not aggro with the other. You see, I kill every single flame except this one that's still there, and you want to try to dispatch it without getting hit by those laser accurate archer. And here I'm actually, you see, I even throw a smoke bomb and I still get hit right after, which made me think that the smoke bomb didn't have effect that far. If you want, I was probably throw too far for the smoke bomb to trigger. And here, because once I got hit behind the pillar in this game, also I decided to move a little forward, and it's harder to hit the zombie on top, but it's much safer because he cannot reach you with that angle, you know. So I really prefer that. Now make sure you don't forget the other scarab in that room, because there's one in both room unlike NGB. And then we're gonna finish the last guy, sorry, with a little gleaming blade. Note also here, if you want to bypass the entire section, you don't have to kill the archer. What I mean is that you can simply go activate the button and get out. If you're not going for no damage run, if you're not going for a karma run or any of that, you don't really have to worry about killing the enemies, you know. So this fight here, the next fight, is a really annoying fight, and I'm not gonna lie, after doing it though this time, because this section is still hard to no damage even with equipment, but I so wish we had the Dabil arrow in Ninja Gaiden Black, because it does make that fight easier in the sense that at first you can go further away, like you'll see what I mean. So at first I throw a smoke bomb on the side always, and here I got lucky because the fucking Hydrocubus like was swinging very far, and I could have, you know, I could have got hit there. So after dispatching two cats here, I'm gonna go like around far in, and I think I'm gonna switch to the Dabil arrow. Yeah, there we go. And then he's gonna start going for a spuddle. I killed the last cat, but now the fact that I hit the tentacle means that, there you go, I knew it was one hit away. And there, once I take it out, I'm gonna take out my Lunar, because you can level it up to 3 here, and then I'm gonna start UTing the Hydrocubus. You gotta just be careful within the transition here, because you can see that Ryu sometime will just decide to target the cat and not the Hydrocubus itself. So it's kind of good to know, you know. And here I'm gonna switch to the Dragon Sword, and I'm starting to go active, mainly because I know it takes a certain amount if you want to take out the tentacle, especially with the equipment. So I'm gonna take out the tentacle, then go ahead with the UT, with the Lunar, and then smoke bomb and do another one, and that will be it for that fight. which is much faster, by the way, than without equipment. You kind of have to plan for it. It's still, again, it's still a very hard gauntlet in general. I'm never going to say that this area is easy. And now here, after that, I didn't do a huge mistake, but I did something silly that I didn't do in my last run, and I kind of should have known about this, to be fair, because I could see the trigger, but I totally forget about this, and you'll see what happened is that I will go up to the shop and all of that, but instead of going to the first save, you know, before that area, I decided to go for that save here that you just saw, you know, where I have to proceed. The problem with this is as soon as you reach that area, you trigger the archer, and because, you know, I want to do the fight with a timer, I had to actually not reset the game this time and continue from that specific point. So you'll see when I get there that pretty much, you know, I go over the save, but then there's like 1 second of the timer that passed pretty much because I press start after saving, you know, so there's like a little bit of time that goes out, and then I had to do the fight right away. And to be honest, even if I had failed this, I don't think I would have redone the entire blue room, red room. I would have done the fight without a timer. But you see here, the timer appear, and there I go for the save. And then when I restart, you see I'm at 79 seconds because there was a fraction of a second where I pressed start, and then I was just thinking, you know, why the fuck did I do this? And now because of this, I'm doing that entire section, but it's technically that if I would fail this, I mean, here it's kind of like unlikely to fail unless you fuck up on the archer, because after that you will one-shot all these guys with the double arrow. So I mean, what are the chances to actually fail that? I think it's just pretty low. But regardless, the other section though after, because I will do the fight, you know, before Alma, with the black cat and the red ninja before going to save, because I don't want to have to go save and then having to redo that fight every time. It's pointless. Side note here, the reason I skipped the ghost fish is because in NGB they're actually a timed fight, and here they're not, so they're not required to fight. You literally have zero reason to do that fight here, so I just skip it. You know, you don't have to worry about any of that, not important. If you want to do it for the kills, that's entirely different. Knock yourself out, do it for the kill, but if not, there's no point in doing that. While the next one, I'm not sure if there's a timer in here. I know in NGB there is, but even if there's no timer, I do it, I think, or at least I kill a couple of them. No, there you go, there's no timer, so I kill a couple of them, but then I do the save strat with their destruction slash to reach the cutscene. You don't have to worry about that fight. And after that, right here, we're gonna go do the fight instantly. We're gonna be using the smoke bomb. Then I'll grab the scarab right here, and we're gonna try to play it safe, you know. So what we do is, I think at first there's 3 black cat at first, if I recall, and then after there's gonna be 3 red ninjas. So what you want to do is you're going to dispatch at least one of the black cat with a Nizuna drop if you can real quick. I'm not even sure I go with a Nizuna drop, but I mean, it's a safe way to do it. Because when you have the smoke bomb active, I mean, I know that the cat prioritizes going for FS, of course, you know, but you don't have to worry about it too much when you just did a smoke bomb. So here I throw another one, get a kill, and then after this, that could have been that could have been really risky because their grab, you know, goes pretty far. So here I don't take a chance. I ET that guy, and then I go for another ET with the double arrow on the last dude with a forward Y to dispatch him. And then we're gonna go back to save. That time limit is actually super tight also. I think you would have to be extremely lucky to do that time limit. You know, maybe two triple kill of Inferno, maybe. I'm not sure, but for Karma, it must be really annoying. So this is what I was mentioning about, by the way, guys, here, why I didn't do the archive challenge in both of my run, is that I didn't go back up in the Bone Dragon chapter, and that makes it way easier for the save, because if not, what you have to do, and that's what I don't like, because for Alma it's okay because I'm used to doing that, but what you have to do is you have to redo, you know, the entire swim of that section, then go to the archive, and then if you get hit real quick at the beginning, you have to redo that entire swim and all, and it's really annoying. I'm not gonna lie, that's one That's one of the backtracking in this game that I think it's really useless, and what they should have done, because I think what the game wanted, because here, I mean, they removed that entirely, so there's no point. So I'll tell you what I think the game was aiming for and why here it's literally irrelevant, is I think Itagaki didn't want player to access the shop again after they went past that section. The thing is, though, technically, you can go back to the shop right before initiating the cutscene of the tunnel flooding, you know, because you can backtrack in the area where there was the first archer in the corridor before the blue room, red room, and there's a shop there. So even if that was the case, you can go there. In this one, they removed that because they put a shop down in the water. So it's pointless. Technically, if they want us to access the shop from outside, what they could have done is let us go out of the monastery, but make us not being able to go and Tyrant and have like a barrier that prevent us from going for the shop, if that was the point. This way we would have been able to save right outside the monastery here, and the backtracking wouldn't have been as annoying, to be fair, because I think it's fucking pointless in my book. Like, nobody likes to do that. And here, see how much damage I'm doing? That's not even essence, you know, that's not even essence right now. We're just doing regular Gleaming Blade, and we're absolutely decimating Alma, and there she goes. That was it. It's crazy how much damage it does. But yeah, that's all for this chapter, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you up on the next chapter. Peace out.